the track.
Welcome back. Another video. Today I'm going to do, hopefully, not too many edits for this video because I totally forgot I had to film this, and the Oscars are Sunday. I have my Oscar prediction paper right here where I'm going to go head-to-head with Samm. We've been doing it every year for, I would say 3 years at least, and she's beat me once, I beat her once, so this year's going to be a tiebreaker. And I'm going to try to get through these quick because, as you can tell, I don't have this on a tripod. My lighting's not set up. I'm using my Philips Hue lights for the room in order to film this because I don't really have the time to sit down and start a video and actually record the real way I like to record. So we're just going to go through quickly. I'm going to give you the choice that I think will win, and then the choice that I want to win or think should win. And first is actor in a leading role on this paper, and I believe Joaquin Phoenix will take it and deserves to take it. He gave an amazing performance. He's been getting the Leo treatment for years, and he's the best one on the list. Adam Driver did give a phenomenal performance, though. I can't take anything away from him. Actor in a supporting role, Brad Pitt. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that Brad Pitt will be walking away with Oscar Gold, and deservingly so. He put two great performances in this year, and I'm glad to see him get some recognition for it. Actress in a leading role, I think Renee Zellweger is walking away with it. I do think she deserves it, but if I had to choose, I would have gave it to Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. I thought she gave a very good performance, very realistic performance at times. Some scenes it got a little over dramatic, some could say, but I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I enjoyed the movie overall better than Judy. But Judy was made by Renee Zellweger's performance, so there's no arguing. As for actress in supporting role, Laura Dern's walking away. We all know this. She's won everything. There was no taking her down. If I had to give a want, because I didn't really love her in that film, I mean, she gave a great performance. I'm not talking anything down from that movie. I would give it to Margot Robbie. After watching Bombshell, she really blew me away from a few scenes in that movie. I have a review on the channel, go a little more in depth with that, but I thought she was the best part of that movie. Her storyline intrigued me the most. And she gave it was a quiet, really down-to-earth performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but she gave two really good performances this year, and I wouldn't mind seeing her walk away with something because she is a great actress. Animated feature film. One that I think it's going to Claus. I haven't seen Claus yet, but something's telling me they're not going with Disney this year. If I had to say what I want to win, it would not be Disney either. It would be Missing Link, solely because I really enjoyed the movie, had a really good time with it, and the amount of work that's gone into those movies at Laika, they need some more support because they don't get the blockbuster numbers. They don't get money hand over fist like they should. They put phenomenal movies out with phenomenal animation year after year, and I really just want them to get a win somewhere. And they got the Golden Globe, but we all know the Globes really don't mean much at the end of the day. Cinematography, I believe, is going to 1917, and I believe it deserves it. I would like to see The Lighthouse come out with it just because I want A24 to get some more praise because they are a smaller studio, and The Lighthouse did some great things with the aspect ratio, the black and white, the old camera lenses. It was a cool experience, but we all know 1917 was a phenomenal feature when it came to cinematography. Costume design, I believe we'll go to Little Women because they love that oldie, dresses and all that. They love when movies do that. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood deserves it, though, because Brad Pitt's outfit is now becoming like iconic to some people. And I will say, if I saw someone wearing that outfit, I would think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If I saw someone wearing an outfit from Little Women, I would think of probably 20 other movies it could have been from. So I think Little Women walks away with it, but I would like to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood come away with that one. Directing. I believe it's going to Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. I think he deserves it. I think every director on there, almost every director on there, deserves the win. Sam Mendes definitely does. Quentin Tarantino hasn't ever won, so if he got one, I wouldn't be upset with that either. And Scorsese, I wouldn't personally like to see win, but you never know, it could happen. Oscars love old school mob movies, and they love some Scorsese. Documentary feature, movies I haven't seen, but I've kind of just followed which ones are going to be the favorites, and that would be American Factory. I don't have a choice of what I want to win because Apollo 11 never got nominated, and that one should have won the thing. And last year, they didn't nominate the two favorites that I thought were going to win either, so you never know with the Oscars. Documentary short feature, Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl. I've heard it's an amazing documentary short, and I just have a feeling that's where they're going to go with it. International film would be Parasite to me. I think it's obvious they're winning it. I would like to see Pain and Glory win, not because I've seen it, because if Pain and Glory wins, maybe, just maybe, Parasite walks away with the Best Picture gold, but it's a tough call. Film editing, Ford v Ferrari, I think deserves it. It made the movie feel shorter. The racing scenes were put together flawlessly, and I think that's going to win, and I think that deserves the win. Let's see. Makeup and hairstyling, it's Bombshell. They love seeing people be other people, and they love when they do it convincingly, and they did that in this film. Megyn Kelly looks exactly like Charlize Theron in this movie. Like, they're to a T. And then what they did with John Lithgow was amazing as well. We just did that. Original score, Joker. There's no way it's not going to Joker. And if they give it to Star Wars, I'm going to be pissed. Joker deserves it. Joker's the only one that deserves that category, in my opinion. Original song, they're going to give it to Rocket Man. I really have no preference here. So I'll say I want Rocket Man. They're going to give it to him because he throws great parties after the Oscars every year. He's friends with a lot of the Oscar people. And it was a solid movie with, I don't really remember this song, but I'm sure it was great because the rest of the songs were too. Best Picture. I'm going to have to say 1917 is going to win. I want Parasite because I think Parasite is one of the most gripping films I've seen all year. I have a review for that and 1917 back on the channel. But either one wins, I wouldn't be upset. I really don't see anyone else going into that race. I know some people think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is right there. I don't. I think it's a two-man race, and I think 1917 pulls it out. Production design, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I believe will win, but I do think Parasite should win because they built that house from scratch for the movie. That's the design of the production, and they built a house from scratch to make a movie. And if you've seen the movie, there's a flood scene later on, and they built all of the area where the flood happens. It's an amazing thing. I would love to see that win, and at the end of the day, if the ones I want to win, and I end up losing my list, I don't mind, because at least it's stuff I wanted to see win. Animated short feature, Hair Love, heard it was great. I'm pretty sure it's the same studio as the Kobe Bryant short film that he made 2 years ago or last year. So I've heard it's great. Haven't seen it. Let me know if you have down below. How was it? The live action short film, The Neighbor's Window. I know it's the favorite. That's the only reason I chose it. Really have no argument against it or for it. Sound mixing. I'm going to say 1917 is going to take that one, but I think Ad Astra deserves it because It's the only thing it got nominated for, and I'd like to see Ad Astra take something away from this year's Oscar race. Sound editing, I think it goes to Ford v Ferrari, and I think it deserves it. The sounds of the engines and all the different sounds from the movie went well together. Can't argue with that. Visual effects, I believe 1917 takes it because I think 1917 is this year's Oscar movie. They're going to give them a lot of the smaller awards that could be argued to go to other movies, but because it's their movie that they want to see win everything, that's going to get a lot of votes. I actually think Lion King deserves it. Didn't love the film, but I have to say they looked like real lions and real Africa and real nature. Like, it looked so realistic. I really can't argue against it winning, so I do think that deserves the win. If I had to say which one I want to win, Avengers Endgame, because I'd like to see it cap off the MCU with an award, but I don't see it happening. Adapted screenplay, Jojo Rabbit's taking this one, and it definitely deserves to. It was an amazing film, really fun, really different. The script was very, very good when it came to having a kid not know what to do with his life because he's so young and he's confused. It was just convincing the way the kids talked, the way the parents talked. It was always funny. The way the Nazis reacted with Jews. It was a really fun time and a really lighthearted film from a dark era in history, and it worked, in my opinion. I know if some people are offended by this movie, I get it. Personally, it doesn't offend me, and I thought it was a really well-done script. And lastly on this list is original screenplay, what I believe, since Tarantino isn't most likely getting the Best Picture nom or the Best Picture win or the Best Director win, I believe he's going to take away original screenplay for the third time in his career. But I do think Rian Johnson deserves it from Knives Out. I thought it was a very creative and different script. Everyone's chemistry came through on the screen, and that has a lot to do with the script that Rian Johnson wrote. And it was a great movie, but so was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, like I said, I really don't have any complaints with any of these people winning, the ones that I think will or the ones that I want to. And let me know down below what you think will win Best Picture, Best Director. Try to limit it to those two. It's a lot to read. If you want, though, write everyone down and I'll go through and see your predictions for the Oscar. Or leave a link if you have a video up for your Oscar predictions, and I'll definitely check those out. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you right after the Oscars.